Hi, Fabien.
Hi, Joyce.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you more about your book.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to reading the book and be willing to talk about it.
Absolutely. And do you want to tell the viewers the name of the book and your inspiration behind it?
Absolutely. The name of the book is Born in the Wrong Chair. It's a neurodivergent journey. Oops, give me a second.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and grab it. Grab your like it.
It's right here. So it's a neurodivergent journey to truth, healing, and action. I developed a concept called the three stages of awareness that I would love to go into much details later. The book is, before you ask, it is me. This is a real chair that my dad brought from I don't know which country. I should ask him. And my parents had a plan. They built a chair for me. I tried to follow the plan as much as I could. I'm not special. I try to listen to them. Nothing worked. And until the moment I realized, oh, the plan, the chair that they built for me is not at my own size. It's not adapted for me. So that's why the title.
Okay. Okay, and tell me more about the responsibility of thinking that the chair was meant for you and that that was the only path. And that's my understanding from it of what you're saying, that it was like it was molded in a specific path that the parents had the thought around for raising you.
As like any good parents that they could have been, that they are, they had a plan. They built a chair that I was supposed to fit in. They wanted me to be good at math. They wanted me to read a lot of books. They saw potential in me. What they didn't realize is the path of the normal path, I would say, that most people can go through, handle, be comfortable in. I did not. I did not feel comfortable at all, and I needed a special type of explanation. I needed a little more time. I needed a little more attention. I needed a little more careful in terms of the tone, the energy that was communicated to me because on top of everything, of course, I have a hypersensitivity. I tried really hard. I in the book I even explain what I've built in a previous life, and that I realized I climbed the wrong mountain. I ended up at the top of the mountain, but it wasn't the right one. I wasn't happy, it wasn't working for me. I was stressed, depressed. That led to really dark days. And at one point, I had to understand it's not working. So I have to unlearn everything I've learned to be able to learn in what box I fit in. And I realize I don't fit in one box. I fit in many, many, many boxes. And therefore, I need a special type of chair that can carry those many boxes.
So having this multifaceted aspect of life of not fitting in multiple boxes, but fitting into multiple scenarios in life, how would you encourage the people that have had this same experience or feeling of not belonging, or that something is off for them, or trying to fit into one space, scenario, box, or chair, whatever that might be for them? What do you think is the best path forward right now for being multifaceted and knowing we're multifaceted souls? We are not bound to one way. And this is the emerging of speaking your truth to humanity to let people know we are a multifaceted being.
I
And,
agree.
and there's support and help out there. So tell me more about that.
This is a brilliant question, and I had this conversation when I was 4 years old, and my parents were listening. The first, if I can give an advice, if I may, humbly, is it an English word? Humbly? Okay.
Humbly, yes.
Humbly,
Humility, humble, yes.
humble, exactly.
We're humble.
Yeah, very humble is, first of all, be you. So that might sound insane, stupid, or what does that mean? It's be you. By being you, know the real you and embrace the real you. I couldn't embrace myself when I was a kid. My parents wanted me to be a certain way, and no matter how hard they tried very hard. I naturally was drifting from their education to the point that I could not embrace success. I didn't believe that I was meant to be happy. I thought I was a bad person. I thought I was stupid. I thought, what was wrong with me? What's wrong with my parents? What's wrong in my life? And there was definitely glimpse of moments where I was able to stick to the plan, but it never stuck. So that's the reason why I wrote this book. This book is the blueprint, the architecture of relating. Can you relate a little bit or a lot of it to my humble story? Like I mentioned, I'm not special. Maybe I'm a little different, but I was just a normal kid trying to follow the directions of my parents. I'm an only child, so I didn't even have a sister or brother that I could rely on. And nothing worked. So I wished I had something I could refer to. The only thing I could refer to without being too religious was the Bible.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
I'm Catholic, or I was born into Catholicism.
mhm.
And it's kind of hard to fully relate to a man that died to save humanity, and died on a cross and resurrected, rose again 3 days later. Um, my life doesn't resemble that. So I wrote my life in a way as simple as possible, but also embedded researches from philosophers, therapists, experts that explain the craziness, the torment, or just my reaction at some point, why my reactions stood out at that point, why my emotions were not the same as others. So this book really, I'm hoping, will really help in terms of knowing the real you and accepting it.
And touching and inspiring young people all over the world, and those that are adults now that have struggled to integrate into their soul awareness of who they really are.
Absolutely.
Your soul awareness was so high as a child that you were integrating into what people believed as the social norms, but you're this soul-filled child that had the answers to everything. It was
Not everything.
that dichotomy. I mean, to come in knowing, right? You came in knowing, and you came in with these special gifts, talents, and abilities, but had nowhere to place these gifts, talents, and abilities in the awareness of someone that understood what those were. So it's a huge feat that you went through to be able to come to the awareness to be able to help others. This is a huge thing you're doing.
Thank you.
Humanity needs this. There are so many people out there that have only a glimpse of who they are, and yet to act upon who they are, even in the circumstances that may hold you back. You persevered. So tell me your greatest triumph in recognizing that it wasn't lack or limitation or something was wrong with you, but you were pivoting into what was right about you and how you can serve. So I want to hear a little bit about that too.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let
Yeah.
me let me put the book back.
Oh, hold on to the book. Hold on to the book. The life-changing book that people can get and to help understand more, or they can get in contact with you. So I'd love to talk about that as well, that the best way to contact you, or the best way to support this new understanding in the world.
Absolutely. I've tried a lot of things. I've tried a lot of things that didn't work. A couple of things defined my life or changed the course of my life. One is a sort of quote of Michael Jordan. He enumerates all the shots that he missed, all the clutch game that teammates trusted him and he failed everything. And he says and so we're talking about thousands of failures, and he said I failed and I failed over and over again, and it's in the failure that I was able to learn and to finally be successful. That, when I read it, really hit the spot, because I realized that a failure is only a failure if you don't do anything about it. If you learn from that failure, it's not a failure. You actually find a way, you found a way that doesn't work. But if you continue, then you're getting closer to the way that works. Do you want to blame me because I didn't succeed from the first time that I tried? Well, that's what I was doing back then. I was blaming myself for all the failures. So I have to admit, I might have a little more failures than the average person. I also have way more tries and challenges that I took on. So if I took on more challenges, it's normal I have more failures. And to actually fully answer your question, one day I realized everything I was trying to do for myself, selfishly, to be rich, to have a business that will make me rich. And I don't care if my employees don't make that much money. This is how the industry is built. I can't do anything, you know. I every time I try to do a shortcut, every time it was only for me, myself, and I, it was a complete and utter failure. Maybe it provided some instant pleasure, satisfaction, instant little victory, but on the midterm or long term, it was not a success. So when I became sober, it's important to mention that this is when I really focused on myself deeply, my psyche. Who am I? What do I like? What don't I like? And that was the full turning point about learning compassion, learning true love. And I had and I had and I had this and I had to learn what love is. And if I don't love myself, I can't love anyone. And I thought compassion was a word for excuses, for the weak. But how can I love myself if I don't know myself? How can I love something if I don't know that thing? That was the beginning of the turning point for me.
Mhm. And serving the others came into the self-awareness through all of these aspects and layers that you went through at a very young age. You're only 40. The wisdom you have is exponential. And I hope that's okay to say that at your age range. But what you have accomplished in your soul level is incredible. To get from suffering and pain to recognizing the awareness, bringing it into motion, and having the ability to self-regulate with this neurodivergence and allow the abilities that then transform into service to others. This is huge. To me, what you've accomplished in that alone is an aspect that many people struggle through all their lives or end up leaving the planet because they have no ability to understand what they're facing.